What's up? Jeremy here, PLA station. What was that? What's on my head? Oh, it's just a new hat. You know, failed basketball. It literally made it just a few millimeters over halfway. Because this is like the middle of the basketball. Yeah, so that's that. It's got some not so good failures in it. I was just gonna trash it, but it makes a pretty good hat. I mean, actually, I set it down for a second, and I might just take this upstairs and instead of wasting it, it'll be my new little knick-knack dish. You know how people throw their keys in a dish and whatnot, instead of this going to waste. Anyways, that's my new hat slash key holder. Some of you were asking about a video on slicing. So first of all, I want to go back to the basketball I had made real quick. I failed to mention that when you are printing something that requires a nozzle change, a different size nozzle, you are going to have to change it not only in the slicer itself, but also the printer. Found that out the hard way. Took me like a half hour to figure out what was going on. A lot of Googles and whatnot, but I figured it out. So, I feel like I got a strainer on my head. But yeah, so you change that. So say, I don't, you can't see it. Oh, it's not showing up. Okay, so I don't know why the whole screen's not showing up. Here, let me try and change something real quick. 1 second. All right, we're back. So the issue I was having is it wasn't showing any of this over here. The build plate looks rectangular. It's not. It's either I have this fit to screen so you can see, because I have an ultra wide monitor, so this way you can see the whole of everything. If I don't have it this way, it's gonna be this way, with the black bars on top and bottom, and it gives you less to see. So for now, and just for the simplification for you guys, I'm just gonna just stretch to screen. So it just looks a little wonky. I apologize, but I guess what it looks like doesn't matter. So now back to what I was saying. Over here, so you can see I got this gray filament over here. I think it's gray. If you click on that little, I'm using Anycubic Neck Slicer. I really like Orca, but when I got my Cobra 3 Max, I'm just going to call it the 3 Max instead of having to say the whole thing every time. When I got the 3 Max, I decided to try the slicer, and I just really haven't gone back to Orca because they don't have a 3 Max printer on there to do whatever. So I've just, out of simplicity for myself, I've just kept it this way. But well, in here is where you would select your filament. So for the basketball that I'm using on my head, I had PLA HR, I think it was called. There's no PLA HR in here, but there is a TPU, so I just put it as TPU. And I changed the nozzle temperature. I don't know. So if you go up here to this little spot next to the printer, it says 0.4 nozzle. You would go in here and go over to extruder and change this from 0.4 to 0.2, 0.6, 0.8, whatever the size nozzle you're using. You would change that in here, and then you'd save it. On my other profile I had for that PLA HR, I changed this right here for nozzle from 0.4 to 0.6 so I would know. And I also typed in basketball after it. So again, it's just more ways for me to not mix it up. But yeah, you just change that. And then I think that's all I changed for the basketball other than the print height. It wouldn't let me do 3.3, but it did let me do 2.8, so that's what I did. Everything else I left stock. I got it printed in the other room. I'll show you in another video. It's only at like 16%, so it's like it's like here. So there's like nothing. Anyways, excuse me. Let's just throw something on here. Oh, yep. Doom. Let's see. Doom. There's a song I like. It goes Doom. There's so many Doom pieces to this thing. Let's see. Face Doom. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Face Doom. Takes a second. That comes in. Peep it out. This is what I want to make next. Most people will tell you want to try and level this bottom piece out. So I'll go up here to the little rotate. And I typically try to just get it as close as I can so most of it's touching. That way there's less supports and whatnot. There we go. Looks good for the most part. There will be some, as you can tell, there's some gaps right there. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. Ever so slightly. If I just keep moving it, I might get it. There we go. Good enough. Anyways. Yeah, that's Dr. Doom. Again, Dr. Doom's starting to look a lot like Stretch Armstrong. So anyway. Supports. I leave my supports basically basic. I would like to say I don't know a lot about 3D printing. I'm new to this. I'm as new as some of you and less new as more new than most of you. I want to get that out. So there's probably a lot I'm going to miss. This is just kind of like what I do. Again, the slicers now. Bless you. That's Odin. Whatever. The slicers now, the default settings are pretty good. You can't really go wrong. So I'm over here in quality, and I'm not gonna mess with anything over here. It looks like I'm looking at my wall over here. It's because I have a very large. This is my gaming monitor. It's 49-inch ultra wide. So, like, it looks like I'm looking over there at the wall, but I'm not. I'm just looking over here at this stuff. But yeah, I don't mess with none of this. You know, I don't like rafts, so I don't ever have a raft on. I leave the top Z distance at default. I don't ever mess with it. I should have messed with it with the basketball, because these things are. Actually, that's how this happened, is trying to pull these off. So, how I'm going to get this off on the new basketball, I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But for the most part, I guess 0.2. I see a lot of people use 0.28, I think. That's what I think the Z distance is. The top Z distance is the distance between. I'm glad I have this. It's a good tool. The distance between the support and the object it's supporting. So, in a nutshell, I think. I just leave everything basic. Material, I never use a prime tower unless I'm doing a time lapse. Then I have to do, if I want to do a time lapse and see, I have no brim. I don't like brims either. Okay, over here time lapse. If I do smooth it makes me have a prime tower. So the only time I do a prime tower, if you see a prime tower in my video, it's because I'm doing a smooth time lapse to where it looks like it's the project is just going and just growing without the because I think it's distracting in a video. So anyways, back to material. No prime tower. That's literally all I do for slicing. So supports, I normally run the support. I typically do tree auto. A lot of people like to paint on their supports. Again, I'm not that advanced, so I just do default. I'll do like organic. I just recently tried normal. I kind of liked normal, honestly, because it's a lot less. Make a little tree, spin around, make a little tree, spin. A lot less with the. I'll show you with normal, and I also change. I'll leave that normal. I normally change this to. I leave it down to like 15 or 10, but we'll run 15 and see what it looks like. So anyways, let's just see what this bad boy looks like. Let's get him up and close. So slice that bad boy. This is slow. It's gonna take a minute. But yeah, let me know what kind of if you guys change settings, what you do and what you change, because I know the way I'm doing it isn't exactly again, I just default. I'm fine with default settings until I need to adjust, and then I'll get more into the finer details of things. But as of right now, I'm just going to stay in my lane as a newbie and do what I know, which again isn't much. So this is what I want to make next anyways, this Doom. I've been wanting to look online for a green cowl, a green cape, if you will. Dr. Doom one. I'd like to get a nice quality one, because I would like to. Oh, there we go. Looks like he's bleeding. So these are the supports. It's got some supports here. Let's go paint, shall we? Don't necessarily need supports in the middle here. So let's just change this whole thing up. Quality. Go to prepare. Let's actually put him back to how he was. Let's straighten this guy out. It's Dr. Doom. You can't really straighten him out. He is the way he is. And let's paint. All right. So what you would do, I really don't want to do manual. Oh, perfect. I just remembered. I don't need to do manual. So you go to support paint, and you can paint where you don't want supports. So I don't want supports under here. So right click is red. There we go. So I had it on fill. So yeah, if you've ever painted anything online, you got the little paint bucket and you just touch the little paint bucket and you click it and it just fills in everything. That's basically what fill is if I wanted to block out supports, or say I'm painting. I'm not painting. Let's not use that example because that's a whole nother lane. You click the circle. I have it all the way up so it's the biggest bubble. It looks like I'm not going to need green is supports. So let's take that away. It looks like it's going to print supports there. I don't need supports right in the middle. Oh, man. But I am going to want supports all the way around here. So let's make the circle a bit smaller, half the size. And we'll just paint right along here. Shoot, I just got it on the helmet. That's whatever. We'll fix it. Supports under there. Actually, I don't need supports here. I'll go up to there. Let's go back to left click is red. So left click paints the supports away. So this is my no support no more spray. There we go. So looks like we'll have supports there. I don't want. I do want them under here though, so let's go. And paint that in there. And then I'm going to leave supports everywhere else. There are supports. But let's see what this looks like. It looks like there's supports all up under there. That should all be fine. So that's how you paint. Right click and hold is red. That's no support. Right, left click and hold and drag is you're basically coloring. That supports. So, and then if you mess up and you need to get rid of some supports, you got your erase all right there. So let's go back here, hit slice, see what this bad mamma jamma looks like. So let's cue the Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. I'm on my way. I gotta go. Bye. We're back. So, I'm gonna leave that little end part in there. It was 3:40. I had a chiropractor appointment I forgot about at 3:40. I happened to check the time and it was like 3:40 exactly. So I was like, "Oh crap! I had to go." Luckily, I live literally 4 minutes from the chiropractor. So I made it, and then I've been gaming, and now that I'm done playing my Vigi games, I'm back to finish this. So, it's sliced, it's finished. I put some. So there's two different ways you can slice. Cut that. There's a million different ways you can slice, but like the main ways is you got tree auto, tree manual, normal auto, normal manual. So that's 4 different ways. Tree auto, it builds the supports for you, and it goes at whatever percentage you have it at. Same with normal auto, same thing as the tree, except this is what the normal ones look like. And then you have your tree manual and your normal manual. Tree manual is you basically got to paint it on, like I showed you earlier, wherever you want supports. So if you're pretty good at it, my computer's slow, I just let it do manual for the most part. And then normal manual is the same thing. You just paint the supports where you want. What I like to do is do auto for either one. In this case, I'm using the normal. And then it's going to put supports. So like, why is this being weird? So it normally would put supports here, but I did, as you can see over here, normal auto. And what I did was I went into paint and just painted them out. And I kind of just painted a little bit right over here. I don't need supports right here. I probably don't need supports over on most of this, but it will make me feel better, you know. So I'm just going to leave all the supports on where they're at. This looks like it will take 1 day, and looks like I'm going to have to add some more supports because I just noticed there's no supports along the jawline, and I don't like that. So why wouldn't it add supports there? Son of a gun. All right, well, let's go. Since I got you here, might as well just go add some supports. So let's just go to paint supports. So I'm just gonna get a little guy. Oh, that's a little. You can adjust the size of the circle so you can barely see it right here. There, I made a little dot. You can see how little this dot is, or I can max it out and that dot turns into a giant circle. I don't need all that. You know what? I wonder if I bump this up to 20 and then slice it. I wonder if that'll save me from having to what do you call it? Do the supports. I just don't like doing it. I don't know why. Even though sitting here doing that, waiting for it to slice just to find out that it might not work, it's worth it for me. But look at that. Got my basketball going. So yeah. The camera it comes with is trash. The Anycubic camera. I did have my webcam that I'm talking to you on right now out there, but heyo, let's see. Yeah. That works for me. Close enough. Looks like there's a few spots like it got most of it. For some reason it didn't get that gap. And there's a gap over here it didn't get. But anyways, for the most part, that is my support system. I'm not gonna print this guy right now because as you've seen, I got my basketball going. Let's minimize this a little bit so it doesn't look so bad. Well, you can't see if I minimize it, so let's go back big. So far so good. It looks like those supports are starting to come up, so I may have to go in there and try and duct tape that down. But yeah, so I appreciate you watching. Hopefully, I don't feel like this was very educational for anyone, including myself. I feel like I rambled a lot, but nonetheless, doing stuff like that helps me get better at doing stuff like that. So, or doing stuff like this helps me get better at doing stuff like this. Whatnot. So, I appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. I feel bad for telling you to tell me happy birthday because it was my birthday. I honestly didn't expect anyone to watch the video all the way through. It was a longer video. I try to keep them closer to 15 minutes. So I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. Jeremy, PLA Station, out. I can't roll away. I'm on carpet. Let's... out!